episode 6 of the Hot Rod series. And it's a hot day today, and I'm burning up a little bit, but we have not a lot to do, just some things to fix. I talked about having a little bit of trouble with the back last week. We're going to fix that, and we're going to get it glued together, and we're going to glue the neck together. I'm Byrl with Byrl Guitars, and welcome to ResoBiz, where everything is greater with a resonator. So I'm in my other shop right now, and I put my dehumidifier that I used in the kiln in here. This one I normally use in here, and so it hadn't been on for a while, and I just had to empty it. And you can see now I just brought this in, but where is it? When I was shaping this, you can see there's a little arch, but it was flat. And I think it'll, once it dries out, well, this is the one that's worse. As you can see, a little warping going on, and that's due to the humidity. It's nasty outside right now. And back wall here, you see the hygrometer got actually a little low, so I changed the amount of moisture that the dehumidifier was drying out, and we'll get this thing just right. It's all around close to 48% humidity in here. And once that's done, I'll plane these edges down. You can see I got a few to do, but plane the edges down, and we'll join the backs like that, and then this will become a back for this guitar. So that's what, kind of waiting on that just a little bit. I got the neck, has to be dried out, the top, but we got other work to do, so I can be not worried about that right now. Okay, well, I've got about 50% humidity in here, but my back, the pieces still stay curvy. You know, I think what I should have done, let's see the arch, this isn't bad. It's frustrating. But I should have probably laid something on to straighten them out, stickered them. I just thought it was the humidity, moisture content on them was making them curl, and they would straighten out when they dried, but they didn't. So I will be fighting it while I do this. I've got my light box over here. I set this down on it, and I look at it, and I've got a big gap in the center because my ends are slightly bowed out. So mainly it's these ends need work. And I'm going to, the goal is, if you don't understand, is to put these two pieces together like this and make one flat panel. But right now, I think you can see it on the camera, there's a gap in the middle, and I'm touching on both ends, so I gotta work the ends down and get it all level, and then it'll glue together just right, and it'll be a seamless joint. See, I just took a little bit off each end, and now when you put that together, it's real close. The way you really know is I've got this box over here with a light on it, and I can press it together, and it's telling me I'm real close, but it's still showing light through the middle. And when I get it, when I think I really got it, I'll take this together, and I'll show you how it looks in the box. Everybody's got their own system for doing what I'm doing right here, but this just happens to be what I figured out. This is looking good already. So I put it on over there, and it really looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, just by pressing it together, it looks good. What I want to do now is put some tape on there. I believe this is frog tape. But yeah, I really like this. It's very, for this application, it's very stretchy. I have tape for all sorts of different things, different kinds. But for this application, it has a good stretchy quality to it, and it's stronger than just regular painter's tape that you would get. It's closer to the grade of a automotive tape. I think that will do it. So I'm pressing it down to get that arch out of it, because I know that is a factor. Man, it's close. But I see a little bit of light right in the center here. And you can't, when you look at it here, you can't see it, but right there's a little bit of light shining through when I put it on that box over there. So, take it down just a little bit more. Once it gets close, I don't really like this part. I gotta tape it every time before I can tell. Because it looks good, but it may be the way I'm pressing on it. When I put the tape on it, I can get it to hold even at the top, and in the middle, and at the back. Sometimes gives you a better reading or better idea what's going on. Piece. All right, to give you a better understanding of what I'm talking about, my box, I've just got a box with clear plastic, whatever you call that, panel on top. And literally, I may have screwed it on. Looks like I did. At one point, I just taped it on. And then there's a light bulb in the box. And then I put this on there. They call it candling, but if you see when I bend it up, you can see the light through it. And then if you've done it right, there you can see the light shining through, and that's because it's gone when I press down. These are bowed. They're giving me fits, so I'm gonna have to work on that. But when I press down, with one hand, I think I almost can see it right there, but right under my hand. I'll have to check. But when I press down, you can see there's a little bit of a gouge from the plane right there. Okay, so I'll have to work on that. But you can see how that works. Okay, so I'm not happy with this is giving me fits, and before I glue it together, or I've got it real close. You've even seen it. There's a little bit more to do on it, but this curve is so thick. I can't believe. It's just crazy. Anyhow, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it down. You say, are you kidding me? You've done all this to dry it out, and now you're wetting it down? I know it looks crazy, but we're going to dry it again. Alright. I'm going to flip this like that. Isn't that pretty? It's got a a gold color to it. One day I might just do one without dyeing it of any sort. But there's actually a filler or a stain I put on and I sanded off, and all these real deep pores really show that. You can already see they kind of got a dark color anyhow, but all the pores in it would look similar to this. It's real pretty. It could be a really pretty, just a regular guitar, but not today. Let's see. Let's do it. Alright, now put some weight on it. Couple sets of necks will wear it out, weigh it down. By the time that dries, that will have leveled out, laid out, and in fact it's flat now. I'm looking at it. I'm gonna put one more brace under it. There. I did this with a 1-inch piece of walnut. It was cupped really bad. We sit for a little while with a water hose and watered it down, and then I stickered it, put a big beam down the center of it, and laid shingles and concrete on it, bags of concrete, and then a week later took it all off. It was completely flat. That was a 1-inch board by, I think it was 17 inches wide and 8 foot long. This will straighten out. Okay, so I've let this sit quite a few days trying to get this stuff to lay out flat. So let's see how it turned out. Quite a few days. I don't know how many, a week nearly. There we go. You see that? Now that's going to be a lot easier. Just put on that candle thing. And it is real close. Alright, now I'm going to check that box again. And it's still, I think it might be just kind of the wood. There's still just the slightest little bit of an arch to it. It may be the wood just wants to do that. Sometimes you get that. Alright, I'm not pressing on it hard now, but, well, there, that's funny. I can see it, but there it is. You can see right there, I'm kind of squeezing things together with my fingers and pulling them together. You can see right where that light starts to cut out, right in here, and then, follows up a little ways. It's just a little tight here and just a little off up in here. So just a little bit more. We're close, but we're not quite where we need to be. We'll block it down some more. Let me see what this does for us. I'm going to tape it. It looks like I got it. Alright, so what happens, and I don't know if I explained it well enough, but I put this frog tape on here. I put it on one side, and then I stretch it as tight as I can without breaking it. And then I connect it to the other side, and then I just tape it down. And what's happening is it's trying to pull back together. It's elastic, and it's pulling my pieces together. Now I'll put a seam right down the middle, so glue don't seep out all over everything. Just like that. And then I will fold it like this, and we'll put glue right through that seam, and I'll set it down, and it will smash everything up because there's a lot of force pulling those together. You wouldn't think the tape would have that much, but it's more than you would think. And I'm not the one to come up with this way of doing it. It's very simple. Some guys like to make jigs and stuff to do it, but I've done all the different ways that I've seen, not maybe every possible way, but I have done a lot of different ways of gluing backs together. And this one just seems to be simple and works fine. The reason I couldn't get my glue out was I'd have the top opened up, made a little mess. Now see, when I push down, all that glue squeezes out. And what I'll do is wipe it off, and then I'll open it back up one time just to make sure. Did actually get into the seam real good. Sometimes I open it up and you got like a dry looking spot, and that won't work. All right. Let's see what we got. It's completely saturated. Now I'll put tape down the middle just to cover up the glue. And then take that and that will weigh it down to make sure it stays flat and everything. And that seam is nice and joined together, not arched or anything like that. And that is a glued together back. Okay, it's time to glue up this neck. I've got the grain going the way out the direction I want it. And I've got these black like veneer strips that we're going to put in the middle of it. That way when we make the back of the guitar, this is the bottom of the neck, and you'll see these little black lines to divide it. And we're just going to put a little bit of light dye on the back, so it just gives it a little character and light enough to be able to see this flame that we weren't expecting in this neck. So what I'm getting ready to do is glue this thing up. I'm going to use epoxy because a guitar neck is so sensitive to, we dry it out, we take so much care to get the moisture out and get it set. Then you go and add moisture to it with regular wood glue, and it's counterproductive. So I learned this from Tom Byrl's. If any of you luthiers out there are watching this and are wanting to advance your skills as a luthier, look up the Luthier's Edge. And Tom Byrl's is a master luthier, and he is very informative. And I've learned a lot of neat things from him, and this is one of them that I'm doing because of him, is using the epoxy to glue this together so that we don't change the moisture content in our neck. On a dobro square neck, it's not quite as important, but take every advantage that we can. All right, let's glue this thing up. All right, thank you for watching this week's episode. We were able to get our neck glued together. We've got our back glued together. Next week, we will be gluing the sides, the rims, to the top, which we just glued together. And we'll be working on possibly cutting out some of the neck. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like it, just subscribe down below and hit that like button for me.